What's up, everyone? Dave again, back for another video for you guys. Today I'll be working on Death Guard. I will be doing a Denios pattern rhino. Now I have already took 2 steps. I have already assembled the model, of course, and then I primed it all with this rust color. It is flat red primer. It's like a rust color that I found that works. It looks pretty good. And then after I had primed the model inside and out completely, I have covered it with Handy Dandy Pledge. This stuff is good. This stuff is awesome. You should always have a bottle of this somewhere at your disposal. Now I use it as just to seal the model because I'm going to be going right into chipping medium here. MIG chipping is what I'll be using. I hope you guys can hear me okay. I hope the music's not too loud. Bring the music down a little bit just in case. All right, so without further ado, we're going to get right into it. So I'll readjust my camera. I tried doing this on Twitch. I was going to do some videos on Twitch, but my internet is lacking. So that's something that I've been saving off to upgrade, is get internet for my studio directly, and right now I'm piggybacking off the house. Okay, so since this is already primed, our rust colors, and then I've already sealed it, it's important to seal it. It's sealed, it's ready for the heavy chipping medium. So we're going to go ahead and just pour that right in there. Get that going. Cap on. Now, I'm going to back the pressure almost all the way down. The object is just to have it spit and sputter. Now, I'm going to be taking the trigger. Notice how I do my finger. Just going to be popping it to get it to splatter. See the splatter? It's really hard to see with the camera and the lighting. But see the little bubbles? That's what we want. Just want to splatter all over it. So that's done. I'll set that to the side. And we're going to go all the way around the tank. Just spraying it, having it splatter. I'm actually going to grab another one. I'm going to do 2 of these rhinos at once. But I'll get this covered first. I left the tracks off because I like to paint those separate. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and rust and chip the bottom of it because why not? I'm not going to do the inside. I'll actually paint the inside. I'll chip some of it, the door, but I'll actually paint the inside of it. I've been on this kick now where I like to paint the inside of rhinos. It's just cooler. Okay, so that one is done. We're going to set this one to the side. I'm going to grab another one real fast. It's not too far out of my reach. Go ahead and work on a Spartan too while I'm at it. So I'm going to work on 2 rhinos and a Spartan. So we'll go ahead and just same trick. Just spitter, sputter all over it because this is what's going to chip off. Shave that eagle off because that eagle has had to go. Fuck that eagle. Yep, I'm going to paint underneath the tank because why not? I like to give my clients what they pay for. I may not be finishing all these tonight. I'm going to try to finish one of them at least. And there's that one. Let that sit and dry. not forget underneath, because reasons. All right, now all of these, I'm going to break out the hair dryer and speed up the drying process. Always pour my excess chipping fluid back in there because this shit's expensive. Go ahead and clean this airbrush out. I'll show you guys how I like to clean airbrushes. I like the in-between colors. I like this ketchup bottle. People think I'm crazy. Like, what the hell are we got a ketchup bottle for? Well, you stick it all the way in there. You give it a squeeze. Notice how it comes out the end there? Well, that helps with my clogs. And then take it over here, spray it in our catch, raise the pressure all the way back up, and work the needle in and out. Again, this is to help with clogs. Just make sure I don't get clogs. And that thing is cleaned and ready for color whenever I'm ready to jump back on that. But right now, I need to dry these three. So I'm going to line them up and then blow dry them, get them dry. Because we're going to move on to the next stage, and that's priming everything black.
Again, I'd like to thank all you Patreon supporters for your support, as it is greatly appreciated.
So we're going to pretty much get everything nice and dry, and then I'm going to come back over with a nice Style-Res primer from Badger. Well, Minitaire Air, which is a Badger product. I do not spray like aerosol primer back on this in this step. I prefer to use a airbrush primer. Okay, those are all nice and dry. Now we're going to move on to getting this primer ready to rock and roll. Now, this is a big old bottle, so it needs shook up pretty good. So move these guys out of the way. And my phone again. Hang on 1 second while I do some shaking. All right. Take a second to... It's been sitting since Adepticon. I bought 3 big old bottles of these because this is really, really good shit. This is like... I would compare this to the Games Workshop Chaos Black. You know how that stuff sprays really well. It's a really awesome coat. Well, that's what I compare this to. But if it's been sitting for a little while, you're going to need to shake it up. Agitate it really well. All right. Let's see what we got going on here. Now, you're going to want solid coverage with this. Where the heck did my... There it is. All right. You're going to want solid coverage with this. But you're going to want to, a couple thin coats. Just like everything else. It's thin coats. Don't be in a rush. You'll get there. Just take your time. Okay, we'll let this one to the side and let it sit onto the rhinos. Set this one aside. Oop. Now back to the Spartan after I do this. This is the hardest part. Takes the most time anyways. You got to get a good solid coverage. That's important. Because the next stage is we'll be adding the white. And then once that dries, we got to add any green that we want to add. And then we go to chip it. Set it back here. That one's a little wet. Break out the hairdryer on this one. Really should be wearing a glove. I got a whole box of the damn things. I just Oops. Getting the shit all over me. All right. Still not completely covered on all of them. I'm going to have to do another coat. I think the Rhino, yeah, they're all three going to need one more coat. Spartan's definitely going to need another coat. Woo. Part is almost done. Go over those spots that I rubbed off up here. I just about got good, solid coverage over the Spartan. Set them off. Pretty good. I've pretty much got the rhinos where they need to be. Still got a couple angles to spray up in there. I make sure I get all the cracks covered and all the crevices. That's good. Now I need to get these. Alrighty. That is that. Probably we do them green. So those are ready. Yeah, those are pretty much ready. Okay, what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and spray the interior the color that I want it. Just to get it where it needs to be. Once I find my color. All right. I really like this moody green, as I call it, doing the interior of these things. There. I do that now. That way I can go back over with the black again and take care of all this overspray. This color weathers up really well. Okay, we'll get that all closed up. We'll come back over to our black and clean up any of the overspray. That one's good to go. All done. Go ahead and hit those with the hair dryer to dry them up. That way we can move on to the next stage. All right, so this is all dry. You can see that took care of all my overspray. Inside our Rhino is all painted and ready to go. Next, we will move on to the white. Glued the doors all up on this Spartan. Otherwise, I'd be spraying the inside of that green as well. But we'll go ahead and do the Spartan first. Clean out all the black from my airbrush here. For the white, I'm just going to go to like a pure white. It's going to be using a dead white from Game Air. Now, the thing with white is if you don't reduce it some, it'll spit and spatter. Like white is the hardest color to airbrush. So I'm going to put some flow improver in there in it. Mix it up, and hopefully that'll calm it down. Keep it from sputtering too much. So stuff likes to sputter when you airbrush it. Just white. Any of the whites, really. Okay, 45-degree angle is what I'm going to do it around the sides. Direct down on the top. See, it still sputters a little bit. I'm not going to go all the way down. I'll go a little bit further than that, but that's pretty much the gist of it right there. It's about as far down as wide as I want to go. Just dust the bottom of it. We're going to set that to the side and let it dry. Put some more flow improver in there. Put a little bit more flow improver this time. That'll help with the sputtering some. All right, so top directly down. .45. Don't have to go all the way to the bottom. Oh, get that closed. Next. We'll call it there. I'll get this one and the other one up here, and we'll break out the handy dandy blow dryer and dry them up as fast as we can. All right. Set those to the side. Still need to dry a little bit more. I'll set them off over here to the other desk, just because I'm worried about overspray from this next thing I'll be working on. Touch the tracks to make sure shit's dry. If instead of touching this and risk leaving a fingerprint, touch the tracks. If they feel dry, then this is dry. So what we're going to do is I'm going to do some green. I'm going to do basically a green stripe across this, and then a green stripe maybe right there on the door. Just stuff that I can put decals across. But I've got to do the green stripe first, and then once this all dries, I could chip it. So get our tape. Is actually more important because your mouth is a warning sign. The rest of your body. 100 signs and symptoms of diseases such as diabetes and heart disease can be detected in your mouth. In your mouth. Tennessee has a large network of dentists experienced in detecting them during a routine exam. That's why good health begins by visiting Lowe's for great deals on all kinds of products. Time to get the tape all set up. Centering this up is always the hardest part. There we go. So that's just our guide. This is tape that I put down there. It's just going to be my guide where I'm going to spray. The actual taping is going to be done with this big green stuff. So the object is to butt this green tape up against my guide tape, which is my yellow tape. This is going to be fun. Finish that off in a sec. Other side on. Doesn't have to touch it, but it's got to be pretty damn close. And then you got to, these little areas, you can get the tape down there as close as you can, because overspray is your enemy. So we got this on pretty good. That piece right there is going to be fun. Probably going to be some overspray right there that I'll have to contend with. Trying to do some fancy taping here. I don't know if it's going to stay or not. It's seriously taping hopes and dreams right there. It's just going to have to be something I'll have to address afterwards. I can't really keep that from happening. Overspray is not your friend because it causes you more work. I'm going to be spraying there, but overspray is bound to get up on all this, so may as well just foresee it happening. All right, so let's go into cleaning out our white. 1 second. I've actually got to empty this thing out because it is full. Righty. So now we're going to move on to laying down some green. Now I'm going to do a couple greens from Rao Partha. I think it's Rao Partha. No, it's Reaper. Excuse me. I called it Rao Partha on my last video too. It's actually Reaper. It's just like a drab green. I'm going to come in with a brighter. Again, these are Reaper paints. Come in with a highlight. Now, I'm going to have some areas to fix. It's just unavoidable. And the areas I'm speaking of are both sides. See the overspray? But I have a trick for that. So I'll come in here very carefully. Make me a little template. Make me a teeny tiny little template. And I'll come in with my Sotar. And I will get as close to that as I possibly can. Come over the Sotar and just spray it. But I'm going to have to tape off the top part just because I foresee that being an issue. Kids calling me. All right. There. So I'll take that off because most of my overspray is down here on the bottom. Get that as close as I possibly can. And then spray white in behind it and it'll disappear. Get the Sotar. Get it cleaned out. Okay, 1 second, guys. I got to take just a few second break real fast. Get some water. Be right back. All right, I'm back, guys. Sorry. So, on to cleaning this out. Getting ready to lay some white and clean that up. All right. So get our white, drop it in there. Now get our template. Like I said, get this in there as close as I can to being perfect, and then erase that overspray. Boom, gone. Look at that. Yeah. See it on the one side? It's gone on the other. So let's just repeat the process because the template will work on both sides. The way I've got it shouldn't be an issue. Good in there. Boom, all done. Ready for D? Well, we're going to have to. Oh, we got one spot up top here we'll have to fix. It should be no issue. These things are easy to repair. It doesn't have to be 100% perfect because we are going to weather it. We are going to chip it. And that will erase a lot of the mistakes. Okay, now let's do some on the doors. Again, this is just a guide tape. Getting it straight is key. Not going to be easy. Okay, pull a guide tape out. All right, well, let's lay some green down. And the darker green first. You work the lighter green from the top. And that's it. Barely got anything to fix right there in the corners. That's going to be super easy to fix. Now, since I've got this template here, I've already taped, you can just take it on this other side and line it up. Boom. So we've got our 2 stripes on the sides, 1 stripe in the front. Very Death Guard. I think I'm going to go ahead and paint the whole top of this thing. Green on each one. I'm not going to do a whole lot of green on these, on the rhinos. So that's why I figured doing these top doors would be a good thing to work it on. Whoa. All right, blow this out. Get our lighter green. Be a good spot for some decals on top there. I don't know. Maybe green stripes on the front of that would be better. I'm in the mood. Oh, well, I screwed that up. Oops. I can fix that, though. Just set it over to the side.
In the warmer month, many of us take vacations long weekend. Burglars know this too. Did you know that break-in rate next in summer? Our shooters found president of NCA. As you get ready for the vacation season, we don't want you to come home and find like a big burglar. Nobody wants to be vacation. NCA is local,
Ready.
and has no long-term coverage. Landline monitoring just $9.95 a month, and cellular wireless monitoring only $19.95. Call us today at 642-777-7NCA or visit NCA.
Doing one on the side at a time just because the way I'll have to tape it. You'll see it'll still be fine. Now, I'll just flip this over here. Repeat the process in reverse. Pull this out in the center. All right. Back into the darker color. Not 100%, but it's easily fixed. Like I said, we're going to be chipping this and doing more to it. So go ahead and fix this right now since I got the color in there. So we got green back door, or top door, I mean, and then the two stripes in the front. This one, I think I'll go ahead and just paint the whole doors. Oh, not the doors, but the whole, the whole front piece on these. Wonder how that'll work. Let's just see. Let's tape it up. See what we think about it. Yeah. I have to dry that completely. Got a little bit of water run down on it. Okay, now let's tape up the other one. Try to reuse as much of this tape as I can because this tape is really good tape and it's really expensive tape. I say that and it doesn't want to work, so we'll just use new tape. All right. Last one. All right, now that those are done, we can move on to the actual chipping stage. But before we do that, I'm going to clean up some of this mess I got going on here. Some of the stuff I'm not using, get it out of the way. The next stage, we're going to have to activate the chipping fluid. And for that, we're going to need some Q-tips and some water. Alrighty. Oh no. Longer video this time, guys. Figured I'd give you guys a little bit more on this one. It's a little slower process when you're doing 3 tanks, but it's quicker. So, clean out my bowl here. All right. So this stage, like I said, is where we're going to activate. Bring the camera down, get a little closer, that way you can see what's going on a little better. Now, I'm going to take a Q-tip. and you're just going to dip it and roll it on your area that you want to chip. You can only do so much area at one time when it comes to chipping. Get it wet, let it sit there for a second. I'll get a couple areas wet on the top because the water's got to sit there and soak in for a bit, not too terribly long, and activate with the chipping fluid. I actually got to clean my bowl out a little bit better. I'm getting gold flaking on my water. I don't want that. And now that I got rid of all that gold, won't contaminate my paint. All right. Big Q-tip, apply a little bit of pressure. You'll see that it'll start to come off. See? It'll rip down to the rust base that we started out with. And that's what we want. Get some water on these spots in the back to activate. Let it sit on there. The Death Guard, I mean, it's a process painting Death Guard. I mean, as you guys are seeing right now, to get that really cool, chipped up, beat all to hell look, it takes some steps. And we've still got, once we do all this to the whole tank, then we come in, we do decals, we seal it, then we do decals, seal it again, do all of our metal work, and then add the streaking grime, because the streaking grime will help age and beat up on the metallic as well. Then we have to figure out how we want to do the tracks. So it's a process. This tank that I'm doing right here, and this is for a client. And most people, I don't know what most people charge to do Death Guard. I mean, there's a lot more involved to it. But I pretty much charge the same as I would if I was paying this for any other Legion. Even though there is twice the amount of work. I just really like painting Death Guard. I love Death Guard commissions. It's really popping, if you guys can see. And you got to do that all on the sides. You got to do it all over. So to get it to look the way you want it, you got to chip it up pretty good.
Hey, Vanilla. Hey, Chocolate. What's new? Just doing the same old thing. You know how it is. Actually, did you hear about this Blue Wise organic chocolate truffle ice cream? What's this now?
All right, now we're going to move on to the side. Just going to douse some water on there.
You know, people like me too. Of course they do. You're so vanilla.
Just to speed it up a little bit.
Green Wise organic chocolate truffle ice cream. Now just 2 for $8 at Publix. For shopping is a pleasure.
Siempre he querido subir esta montaña rusa. Es una de las más altas en Florida.
¿Altas?
Y yo, la primera fila.
Let that sit for a sec.
Muchísimo más. Y la próxima vez me toca.
Los recuerdos en Florida. Escribe tu próxima vacación. Recuerda. Español.
You see that sputter technique. It does that. It breaks it up. When you sputter it on there with the airbrush, it breaks it up how you want it to look. Whew. Got to beat them up. You know, even though you probably won't even see this back here, it's irrelevant. It needs to be chipped as well. Let that sit for a sec. Make a watery mess on my desk here. It's all good, though. Whew. You can see you can be a little rough with it. It won't hurt it. But it's pretty roughed up there. Now again, I'm gonna put decals on some of these spots, and then we will might even go just rough up some of those decals while we're at it. We'll go ahead and move on to a Rhino. I don't know if I've got enough Q-tips left. I don't know if these will work. Oh yeah, these will work. You know, and I'll have to come back to the Rhinos, and it's going to take a while on those. So we'll go ahead and just speed through this process. We'll just concentrate on the Spartan now, just for ease of time. Otherwise, I mean, this video can go on for hours. So now we'll go ahead and seal. Go ahead and seal this up. That way we can get some decals on. Also, you don't want the water from the decals to activate and just cause a mess. So we'll go ahead and seal the model and then get ready for doing some decals. Reposition the camera because it's all kinds of out of whack. Hope I'm not getting you guys sick. There we go. So this is fairly dry. You gotta get her completely dry. all these last little bits of water out of here. Ready. Now we're ready to seal it. And this we're going to use Pledge. Just straight out of the bottle. And this will seal it up, ready for decals. All right, now let's get the hairdryer out again and speed this process up. Alrighty. Now, we'll get our decal sheet. Time to find the Death Guard decals. There we go. So, now, this out of the way. Clear this water up. Time to figure out what I want to put on this Spartan. Well, I know I'm going to want one of these on the side. because it looks too damn cool. That's going to look good right there. So that's one. Put a couple of these on. One up there. One on the side. Or should I just put... Yeah, that's what I'll do. One of these other small ones. Nope, that's it. So the cool thing about decals, I'm going to be using a wonderful little product from Microset. I'm going to use this to put the decal on, and this Solvaset from Walthers, it's a model train company, to completely dissolve the and make it look like it's painted on. It'll dissolve the lining. So rock onto that. Now I don't take my decals and drop them in the water and let them sit. I'll get them wet. I'll pull them out, let them sit. Now while that's sitting, I will get my Microset, get it applied to where I'm going to put the decal. Take a little bit longer. Do the same thing to the others. I just let them sit on my desk. I like that. And that is all the Microset I'm going to need. This one should probably be just about ready. Yep, it's ready. Now, placement of the decal. Once you get it set, dab it. Lift up that excess water in Microset. Let that sit for a second. Run around here to the side. We'll put our decal on the side. Oops, it ripped, but that's okay. This is Death Guard. Not a huge deal. Even a beat up and ripped decal still looks just fine. Now, if I wanted to, I could pick this up. And put it on there, but I'm just going to leave it off. I like it ripped. I'm going to be beating these decals up more than likely anyhow. Now that one's definitely ready. Okay, we're going to set this where we want it. And there it is. It's where we want it. Done with these. Go ahead and clean off our excess water and Microset. And now is where we put on the Solvaset. This stuff does wonders. Just it comes with its own little brush. Just put it on. Forget about it. Put it on. Forget about it. Same thing. All the way around. Put it on and forget about it. Let that cool for a sec. Well, you can see the Solvaset's already starting to dissolve the outside lining. Doing a fantastic job. Let that chill for a second. I'm going to go ahead and run some paint. Now this, I'm just going to brush paint. I'm going to work on some metal. Now, the metal colors that I love using here as of here lately, it's been these metal colors. They're airbrush colors. So they're thin. Come in the big bottle. They're pretty awesome. That is not the color that I wanted to use. It's the other color. There we go. There we go. Oops. Oops. All right, I'm going to stick down here. Causing more problems than I am anything. Just figured I'd do this instead of sitting here doing nothing, waiting on this stuff to dry. Just add some paint to it in spots with the big brush. Not gonna be able to get all the detail with this big ass brush, but get the majority of it. I don't have to worry about making mistakes because they can be covered. Mm. Almost done. Now all I need to do is paint small detail areas metal, which would be a breeze with some of these big old brushes I got. Secret weapon. Yeah, the Sharpie oil marker. Yeah, I use it from time to time. I stopped using it for a while, but no, I've just started using it again recently. Only on certain things. Like stuff like that. Super easy. Da, 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 da. Now to just let her dry a little bit more. It's pretty much dry all over. Now we are ready for last This is the fun part. This is where we make a huge mess and stink everything up in the studio. But the end result is totally freaking awesome. AK Interactive Streak and Grind. This is the part that really sets the tone. Now, I am using this through the airbrush. I am in a very well ventilated room. This stuff, thanks. So, let the fun begin. Spray it on, evenly coat, get it wet, make sure it stays wet. So it looks like that. It's perfect. Take your rag, drag it down. That's all you do is drag it down. Do another coat. Lay it on heavy. Thinner streaking. Dirty, funky, stanky. That's what we wanted.
Hope you're enjoying your music just the way you like it. I wish you could get financial services just the way you like them. Friendly, reliable service. That's why we're on more and more phones and laptops and in more branches these days.
Just dust it off.
Location. Then visit wilsonbank.com. Stop by a branch today.
Put some more in there. It's going to take a few coats all the way around to get the look we want. Oh, this is already pre-thinned as well. And it's thinned with mineral spirits. Really hammered it on this side. That's okay. Come back over on this side. Hammer it on again. Let it dry some. Just building up the grime. Pretty much what we're doing. That's what we're looking for. That dirty, funky, just bleh. And this look is actually really easy to make with this stuff. Doing the tracks. Got to get underneath. Can't forget about underneath. And there we are. All I got to do now is the sponsons. Bring the metal up a little bit. You know what? We'll keep on trucking. I'm going to dry this a little bit, and then we'll do some weathering powder.